Hi, I'm Jerry Hyde, Youth Services Specialist at the Ames Public Library. Welcome to Well Read, a program about a little bit of this and a little bit of that at your Ames Public Library. Today we're going to go and expand to our whole community. We know that we have books in the library, we know that we have people who love to read that come to the library, but in order for those people to get there, we have to begin way back in the very beginning when they're infants and toddlers and preschoolers and going to school and getting ready to read and learning how to read. And that doesn't take just the library, that takes a whole community. Or as that popular saying, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to have a child learn how to read and be successful in that reading. So today I've invited a couple members of our community that are involved with raising readers and well-read, Ames Reads and the library, they're library lovers as well, to talk about some of the wonderful things that we have going on in April. And but let's take one step back because there's some very special things that have been happening in Ames, and it's called Ames Reads. And Carolyn, would you like to explain what Ames Reads is? Because
Sure.
And kind of introduce to the public who and what and where and how that has all happened.
Well, Ames Reads is really a grassroots effort, and people who care about reading, who believe literacy is important, about 2 years ago got together and established a vision for Ames as a city of readers. And they decided, those of you who read Alexandra Haynes' editorial, she said, and third grade reading is a good place to start. So they established a first goal of all children coming to school ready to learn to read, and all children by the end of third grade reading and comprehending at or above grade level. So that goal is in concert with the public schools, and you know, we're starting out with that, but our big vision is that we'll be known as a city of readers.
And that's going to be, I have great confidence that that will happen as well. And so you talked about the ready to read and at kindergarten going to school, and then that third, fourth grade level reading. Can you kind of expand on that? Why is the third grade that tipping point or that important watershed in a reader?
Yes, it is the time when typically, especially with the curricula that our schools use, it's the time when children have learned to read and are ready to read to learn. So it's
a very important time.
It becomes a very practical skill at that point.
And if they're not ready at third grade or fourth grade to be reading to learn, then they're going to fall behind. And it kind of goes, or it's going to be a struggle for them to learn the things that they need to learn throughout the rest of their school time. But it does also go back a couple of years too. You know, I always like to clarify that, you know, your child shouldn't know how to read when they go. We're not pushing for that reading when you get to school. We'll let the teachers teach the reading, but the learning, the early literacy skills, having the skills to be able to read.
And a love of reading.
And the love of reading, because you can accomplish a lot of things if you have that love of reading and you have positive experiences about that. And so it's a wonderful collaboration the Ames Reads group is. And I would imagine that our viewers will both recognize both of you with our Raising Readers in Story County organization as well. And so Mona, I know that you're doing some wonderful things with some curricula to help you know, walk side by side on some of the goals of the Ames Reads. One of those is called Thrive by 5.
Yes, it's called Thrive by 5 Story County, and it's a comprehensive early reading and school readiness program. And just like you said, it complements the Ames Reads goals. And so for the past 3 years, we put together some parent education classes that helps support parents about what they're already doing at home and just giving them more ideas to use children's books and everyday activities to help prepare their child for reading and writing and school success. And so what we've done is currently we have 4 different units where parents can either take a parent-child interactive class, or they could do learning online, and we hope to continue to build more units. Overall, just giving parents ideas, some simple things they could do at home. One unit is the early language and literacy skills, the vocabulary development, playing with sounds, the print motivation, which we've talked about, and print awareness. The other unit is using children's books to teach about healthy eating and physical fitness. Physical fitness is tied in, for example, when children have strong fine motor skills, that helps with writing and turning pages of books. So we're always looking for connections of how to use books to enhance children's early learning as well. Another unit is about using books to encourage early math skills. And this year we're working on focusing on how to use children's books in everyday activities to encourage the healthy social emotional development, and tying in just that public awareness of anti-bullying and teasing, which can start, you could start talking about those issues with children in the preschool years.
Yeah, and all of it is very important. It's amazing how books and reading and being able to turn that in, we don't always think about the direct connection, but there's a direct connection everywhere with reading in everything that we do, whether or not we're adding numbers together, or reading story problems, or trying to deal with the social emotional issues that we might have, as even just we have lots of books at the library about losing our pacifier, or a blanket, or whether or not, I know we have a book called Wimberly Worried here, that's all about some of the things that a child worries about, and talking about that and identifying with that character in the book, even at a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old age, is it's done quite a bit. And so I see you have a pile of books that might be some good titles that we could suggest.
And just building upon what you said about how children's books are a great vehicle or tool to use with young children, starting at birth. One area of the social emotional development is just a sense of self, having that seeing oneself as worthy and capable. And so this is one book that is for preschool age children, but you can share it with toddlers as well. And it just talks about your unique characteristics and acknowledging your child, being a leader. You're a great leader. You listen to other children's ideas, or being polite. So it's acknowledging your child's special characteristics. But with self-awareness, it starts at birth, building that secure bond with your child, that they feel loved and know that when they cry, someone's there to come and take care of them. So building those social skills does begin at birth. And another area that's important for social emotional development is being able to label and know different feelings or emotional words, and the nonverbal of how somebody looks when they're sad, they have a frown, or they could be crying. And then just talking with young children and about also how to deal age appropriately or in appropriate ways with feelings, especially being mad or angry and expressing your emotions. This is a fun book, Llama Llama, Mad at Mama.
Everybody loves Llama Llama.
And acknowledging that all emotions are okay. There's positive emotions and negative emotions, but no emotion is wrong or bad. It's just how you handle it and deal with it. So that's one area we really want to encourage parents, is knowing that you model how to deal with emotions, but just acknowledging your child's emotions and talking about that, and using books is a wonderful way to do that. And another area we want to focus on is just friendship skills. How do dinosaurs play with their friends? Talks about cooperation and sharing, using kind words, and again playing on how it is to be a positive friend, and then just acceptance of individual differences. And that's really the focus with talking about the anti-bullying or teasing, is to develop empathy, or just if children are different. This is a book called Flop Ear, where it's about a rabbit. His ear, one of them hangs down, and so other rabbits tease him because he's different, not like them. And so he gets really discouraged about his ear that's different, but along the book, the rabbits do accept him for being different. And that's one thing too, of teaching children at a young age, that empathy, and knowing that teasing is hurtful and that it's okay to be different, that we're all different in one way or another. No one is, like I say, perfect. We all have our differences, and that's okay.
Right.
And so, again, this is another way of just we can use children's books, conversations, everyday activities to talk with children about getting along with others, using kind words, and cooperating and empathy.
And again, the books kind of provide that parent the tool to be able to have those conversations. It also provides that child that, that identification of who that character is, that perhaps that's what's happening to them and they don't quite understand it, but now they've read it. Kevin Hinks is one of my favorite authors that has a lot of these things, and I see you've chosen Chrysanthemum too, about the name, and I still remember, because my name is Jerry, which is also a boy's name, and I still remember all through my school years, that, and at that time, because it was years ago, that boys sat on one side of the room and girls sat on the other side of the room, and I always hated the very first day of school because the teacher always looked at the boys' side of the room, and I'm like, over here. But Chrysanthemum would identify, would have helped me kind of figure that out, that it's okay to have a name, and a tool to use, but now there's one of those books that you use there, the ABC.
Yes.
Hi, Like Me. We have a special program going on. April is the month of the young child, and we have lots of different literacy types of events. And I'm going to jump around the month, obviously.
Oh, that's okay.
Because the ABC, I Like Me, is one of the very important days that we have going on, because the library and the Raising Readers are partnering together with some businesses downtown in the downtown cultural district. And I could tell about it, but I'll let you tell about it as well.
Okay.
We can tell together.
Well, before I begin, I'll just point out this poster here, like you said, for the Ames Literacy Week, which is presented by Ames Reads, and the Ames Public Library is a wonderful collaborative partner. We have put together different activities to support healthy social emotional development in Story County, and also just building that love for reading and building a city of readers. So and all this information is on the Raising Readers in Story County website, and that's raising-readers.org. And the events are they're broken up, but from April 8th through 13th, we are having a book drive called New Homes for Books, and we have several sites in the Ames community where families or community members, what we're doing is we're collecting used and gently used books, which we will provide for children in need. Raising Readers has a gift book program in which we provide books for children at the WIC clinic, the dental clinic, food and clothing pantries. And then also we work with United Way in Story County for their backpack program, which they provide food for children for the weekends, and they've worked with Raising Readers to provide books. And so if there's new or gently used books, we can also provide those books for children at school age. So,
and you have those book drops. I know it's a special
it's a box
case.
Yes, it's a box about this big that looks like a house. And so they will be on a little table with hearts, and you'll see those, and it's during the week of April the 13th. And the sites are Ames Racket and Fitness, both south and north sites, the First National Bank in Ames, the Cupcake Emporium, Duckworth Waring, Dolls, Hy-Vee Drugstore, and both the Fairway stores. Locations. And so anyone can drop off books, make donations at those sites during the store's business hours.
And what a wonderful way. I know as a parent many years ago that all the books that you have, that you've read them several times, and your children grow out of reading that type of ones. But other than those special ones that you don't want to get rid of, you want to keep forever and ever. And so this is a wonderful way to provide, to pass on. And so that'll be just for that month,
just for that week, April 8th through the 13th. But we do also, and I'll start talking now about
my
Story Walking
ABC,
Day.
I like
on
me.
Main. So what we've done, and we're so grateful for the Ames Public Library to collaborate with us, and then the Main Street Cultural District and Prince Copy Center. 18 different stores. We are focusing on ABC, I Like Me, and this book will have maybe like just 2 pages, and then there'll be some open-ended questions. And these pages will be mounted on storyboards, which participating stores will have hanging on their front window. And so the story, we're encouraging families and child care providers, anyone who has young children, I would say the story is appropriate up to 3rd grade, so birth to 3rd grade. And we are inviting participants to start out at Tom Evans Plaza, and there'll be a guest book and probably a little clear plastic bin, and then there'll also be these route maps. So then they could start, I believe, there, and then the next store would be Time Studio, and then they could walk around, and then again, the storyboards have open-ended questions, so it's an interactive.
And the research says that it's not only just reading the story that's important, but it's also that conversation that you have with your child while you're reading that story, which is kind of a change of philosophy in some people's lives as well. So that conversation, those open-ended questions that you're providing on that is a very essential part. And that you're not talking to your child, you're having them open up and talk and have that dialogue conversation, that shared, because this book is very important. It's got lots of things going on with the alphabet letters, and then the vocabulary that's here, and then how you're feeling about them. There's just so many different conversations. What the little piggy is doing.
Exactly.
Is, so many different avenues that you could choose as a parent or as an adult.
And going along with what research says is that children, when you have that conversation and when you talk about illustrations and you make that connection to your child's life, it makes it more meaningful, and it also builds their knowledge base, which will help with comprehension once they do start reading. If you went to a farm and you learn about pigs, and you can make that connection. But again, you're just making it more meaningful to children. And so on the same day, Raising Readers is doing a book exchange, and that will be held at the First National Bank of Ames, just up the street from Main Street. And so we will have door prizes, and so we have several copies of this book, which will, if people come to the book exchange, they'll have a chance to win a copy of ABC I Like Me by Nancy Carlson. And so the book exchange, the goal is for families or community members to come. Will be in the basement of First National Bank, and say if their child has outgrown 10 or 12 books, they can exchange those books if they're we prefer books that are gently worn. Board books, picture books, chapter books up to grade 4 or 6th grade if we're open to anything. But we already have a set of books that are gently used where you say you bring 12 books and you get a little slip of paper and you can exchange them for 12 new gently used ones. Right. So that will be happening also on the same day, and this will be on April 24th.
So if you missed If you missed the donations previously, you can come and exchange and
donate if you like.
And donate if you like. But it's also really fun, I think, to have your child accompany you on this, because last year, this is our second one, and I can remember seeing the little kids, preschoolers and school-age children coming as well, and the excitement that they have, being able to exchange and do something good and then get something in return, and being able to choose too. That self-selection is really good. And you're laughing, Caroline.
Well, I am, because I'm remembering the chagrined mother who brought the books in. Unfortunately, we put them back on the tables too soon, and her child went out with the same books that they came in with.
See, evidently the child thought it was a very important book in their life, and they wanted to keep that.
They wanted to read it some more.
So that's a really fun-filled day, but we have more fun-filled days.
We do. We are thrilled to have Dr. Amy Poppy on and Randy Camp. will be doing a presentation on April 23rd, and this is sponsored by the Ames Public Library at the City Auditorium, Ames City Auditorium, at 7 p.m., and it's called Promoting Healthy Social Emotional Development Through Children's Books. So again, the background for that, people may not be familiar, but it's called bibliotherapy, and that is specifically what we're providing information for parents and the community at large, is that building upon what you said, that if a child has an issue like being afraid or that separation anxiety, that you can use a book and talking about maybe a beloved character, maybe it's Max and Ruby, and Max is upset about being separated. So then for that age, a toddler, then you could talk about the experience that Max is going through and then relate it to your child's experience. So again, it's so sensitive issues, learning about how to deal with your feelings appropriately, learning about cooperation or teasing or being bullied, that you can, again, this presentation emphasizes that. And that's open to everyone, but also we're able to provide child care providers with training credits.
CEUs.
Yes. And so that flyer is on our website. And then we are also doing a community-wide day of reading.
Oh, and that's very exciting.
And it's called Read Across Story County. And again, it's that focus and that push and awareness of how important social emotional development is. And so anyone who has young children can visit the Raising Readers website and pledge. Our goal is to have the Story County pledge to read to 1,000 children anytime during the day of April 25th. And we have, all they have to do, they could just give their initials or their first name and say, I'm going to pledge to read to my grandchildren, 5 or 6 or how many grandchildren they have that day, and what book they like to read. We do have a list of recommended children's books that can be checked out at the Ames Public Library or any of the Story County libraries, and then also some book activities with some different links. So far we have 22 people or children who are going to be read to
I haven't
that
registered the library yet, but we have devoted our morning that day to
good.
read to the library or read to our children. So we'll have
we'll get up a little bit
some
higher
more there as well.
Yes.
So I'm pledging to do
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. And again, adults can pledge if you just read a book or a poetry. And it could be any age, but again, it's just a fun way to have that community of readers, but then focusing on building those social emotional skills. And then the other thing that the Ames Reads planning team put together is we are really grateful for community businesses and volunteers who are building 10 free little libraries. And this is a national movement where people, usually it's private homes or residents, they put, it's like an oversized birdhouse where they put that in their front yard, and they could, they have books where people can come and take a book or leave a book or return a book. And so we are focusing on children's books. And so on our website, it'll list these 10 different sites along with the sponsors. And then the grand finale is our 5th annual Step Into Storybooks event, which will be on Saturday, April 27th from 10 to noon. And we are, for the first time we've been usually at the Ames High School, but now we'll be at the Ames Middle School. And so we have, again, it's called, the theme is I Can Be a Super Friend. And so we're again having, you probably see most of these children's books there, but they'll come to life with a parent-child interactive station. And we're excited to have your good friend Dan Wardell from IPTV Kids Clubhouse be our special guest storyteller. So he'll be in the auditorium and do 2 repeated story times, and then we'll have the first 700 children who come will get a free social book that focuses on social emotional development. We'll also have, for older siblings, hopefully read with Rover, where they could read to a dog, and then also a comic book making session with Tim Reed.
He's going to come and help them draw their graphic novel type of look, cartoon character guys. So And then we're going to have these wonderful stations.
Yes.
And I brought the library station, the rainbow fish, that we will have the interaction with the flannel board and the book itself. And then we've got a craft activity that they'll be able to make their own rainbow fish, which happens to be, well, I always say that, Wimberly Worried was one of my favorite books, Rainbow Fish. I have the list of wonderful books that my favorite books are. Could probably go around the world once and maybe twice.
Okay.
So the library will be there, and I know there are other agencies that will be there, and other groups like the Ames Morning Rotary and Lions Club, and are all sponsoring different, and the Ames Noon Club sponsoring different stations, the hospital and auxiliary. So.
And there's one other new thing is we are going to have hopefully volunteer readers at each of the stations, so they'll be wearing Dr. Seuss hats, and they'll invite children to, they can read the Rainbow Fish to them. It's not, you don't have to have the book read to you, but it's nice to have the book read, and then have it come to life. And then we've also are collaborating with Iowa State University, their Verb Summer program, where they are going to be in the Ames Middle School cafeteria, and they're having a Leap into Summer festival where they'll provide, I believe, just different information about summer programs for school-age children, focusing on healthy eating and exercise. So that's something new that we're collaborating with them this year as well. So that's something older children.
It's going to be a hopping place at the middle school on that Saturday, and lots and lots of fun activities for families of not only our 0 to 5 age group children, but we have some activities for those older kids as well. And then I know the Verb group is more for the older kids too. So
elementary
lots
children.
of wonderful things going on at the middle school. And I when you said that for the first 700 children, I'm thinking, oh, that's a lot of books. But I know last year we had over 1,000 people at that event, and in a 2-hour period of time. That is a lot of families and a lot of city support for that
and we had
reading.
people from many other communities as well. So
Sure.
It's a draw.
Lots of wonderful modeling that we're doing, and helping our young ones learn how to do that. And I know we've talked all about all these things, and they can be found at the Ames or the Raising Readers website, raising-readers.com. .org.
Okay.
And then I know I have some of these also. The flyers are at the library, and the flyers also went home to all the Project Smiles daycares.
And the Story County schools.
And the Story County schools, and we're sending out emails as well. So if you haven't gotten an invitation, it doesn't mean that you're not invited. We want everybody to come and have a good time, and see what you can do with a 32-page book, and how important that is. But kind of to go back around, to go swing full circle there, all this has taken a lot of work among a small group, but also the whole community to help us with that. But we do also have another wonderful event happening in that week with a very special person that kind of helps us with nationally with the level grade reading. And Carolyn, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, we didn't know about it in time to put it on the flyer, and even if we had, I don't know where we would have put it, right? So this is Thursday, April 25th. Ralph Smith, who is the Senior Vice President of the Annie Casey Foundation and the manager of the Grade Level Reading Campaign nationally, is going to be visiting Ames. He's coming actually to visit 6 communities in Iowa. Ames will be his 3rd stop, and he is here because of our participation. These 6 communities have been participating in this National Grade Level Reading Network, and they have recognized that we are really working hard, and so he is coming to learn more about what we're doing and give us an attaboy. So we have,
which we all deserve that.
Well,
we
yes,
can pat
right.
ourselves on the back.
So we are planning, I don't know whether we'll call it a community forum or just an open house or something, but we will be meeting on Thursday, April 25th from 10 to 11 in the morning at Oakwood Church. on Oakwood Road, which is south of Gateway and on the road to the airport. And we'll have a chance to highlight some of the many things that are going on to promote literacy and parent-child positive relationships. And he will have a chance to give us a national perspective about what's going on to promote literacy, grade level reading, and children's graduation prepared for life in this country. So
it's something we really haven't mentioned a whole lot is that summer learning as well. That
and summer
it's
learning
not,
is a part of
not
it.
just
Yeah.
during the school year, that summer learning is also an important part of that grade level reading and keeping on task, as well as having the whole community come together and help raise the readers in our community. So
I would like to say, Jerry, that people will probably get to read about this because the Ames Tribune has offered to be a sponsor for that.
There we go.
That
So
event.
check
so.
your papers,
Yeah.
newspapers soon,
Or online.
and online. And I know we talked about a lot of things that happened here, and there's no way, unless you took notes during our program, that you might, you would have all the dates. So do know that the flyers are out, in the community, at the library, or you can access the raising-readers.org website and find all this information. And if you're busy that Saturday, there's wonderful information on the Raising Readers website for that you can pull down and download some of it and print it off and read about what you can do for your child. One of the great things, you can do that at 2 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to, be there when somebody's on duty or have the doors open. You can do it on your time. So it's one of the ways that we are helping our community to be a community of readers. And so we challenge you to do the same, get involved and help our children learn how to read and to keep reading and have that print motivation that we want them to have, and use those books, whether it's their home library, the public library, the school library, or our little free libraries in their neighborhood, or in those book exchanges that you do. So come on in and participate in some of these wonderful April activities, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.